Well, good morning. Thank you, John, and thanks to everybody for being here today. I'm going to ask all of the Vision and Values folks who are sitting on the ends to please now pass out the documents that you have to everybody. And while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about a couple things, and then we're going to get into our documents for a couple minutes. First, as you came in today, you noticed on your tables or on your chairs some paraphernalia, magazines, and things. A couple of them were the Business Black Box and Greenville Magazine. We also have, when you go in your sessions, you'll see editions of GSA Business. And all three of these magazines have been are so pivotal in the Upstate to share the stories about about what's happened from an economic standpoint and about how we're sharing those stories for those of us who live here, and then also for people from other places who are checking us out, because you know a lot of people are. And I want to thank all three of those organizations because they have been very helpful to 10 at the Top and helped us move forward in the last year with getting the word out about all the things we're doing. So I thank all three of them very much. And then you also had at your place, and if you get one of the daily newspapers either in Spartanburg or Greenville or Oconee or Union or Greenwood or many other places across the region today, you saw a supplement, a 20-page supplement that includes all of the sponsors for today's event, again, thanks to all of them, and also sort of gave people a taste of the vision and all the things that came out. And this went out to 175,000 subscribers to the newspapers across the region. So it's really a great outreach, and we're excited to share this vision and to get the word out, because as you've heard already, and we'll talk even more, the vision and moving forward is not something that needs to be done only by our leaders and decision makers. It is something that we all have a role in. And so getting this word out through the newspapers were so important, and I thank all of the newspapers across the region who helped make that happen today. Okay, by now we should have these documents. And the first thing I want to do is I want to recognize, and she's sitting up here, Heather Clark from Liquid Ink Marketing did both of these for me and for us, and have done all of the documents that we've done as a part of this series. And I thank Heather for her diligent time and late nights and all those things. So Heather, thank you very much. Now, our first document is the Vision Guide. And this is designed to be the type of material for those of us who are not planners or those kind of, people who on a daily basis delve into all the acronyms and all the things related to planning and growth and all of those components. Well, most of us don't. And so, one of the things that we felt like, and I consider a lot of times my job to be a translator, translate the great thoughts that come from our planners into something that we can share with our citizens, with all of us who don't have planning degrees and haven't sat through Barry Knox's classes. So, let me walk through this document. First, the first 2 pages are simply where we are, how we got here, and where we need to go. Because as we've said a number of times, together we are stronger. Now, as we move into the document, there's a couple things in this one and in the next one that I hope you'll take the time to review. When we did the survey and the community forums that we did this past year, we had over 5,000 to 6,000 people who shared with us what they value, what they like about the Upstate, some of your concerns, but the things that are important to you as we look towards the future. And we can't put all 5,000 or 6,000 in a document, but we did put a few in here and some more in the other document. And I want you to read these because they really set an understanding of what's important to people as we look towards the region. Then, of course, there's some information, general information about each of the counties in the Upstate. That's very important to all of us. We've recognized the 10 at the Top Board of Directors, and I want to recognize the 10 at the Top funding partners. Now, these are different from the funding partners for this event, although many of them are both. Thank you. But we have had funding partners throughout this process, all that we've done, that have made it possible for us to be here and to move forward. And I want to thank all of them, and they are all listed here. You're welcome to join that group if you'd like. Now we get into the document. And I want to recognize Barry Knox is here, Dr. Barry Knox from Clemson, the Planning and Landscape Architecture Department. And I'm not sure if Professor Steve Sperry is here, but I know Jared Draper and Nathan Woods, who are graduate students that have worked with us all year, are here. And they helped us as part of this process to get an understanding of where we are today as a community in terms of growth and also in terms of some of the components that fit within there. And you'll see indicators related to transportation, air quality, education, land use, and water. And we did these. There is supporting material I'll be happy to share with you, but we wrote these in a way, again, so that all of us could understand without having a planning degree. And then we talk about where we're going in 2030. And we've heard it before, and there's charts and things that show it, that if we aren't thoughtful in how we grow, we'll wake up one day in those special places. The things that we care about won't be that way anymore. I spent 13 years in Central Florida, and we saw it in the Orlando area every day. When I moved there in 1997, I ran a 2-mile stretch, and there were 4 places on that road where there were cows or there were a forest area, things of that nature. By 2002, 2003, they were all gone, all houses. And people were like, well, how did this happen to us? Now, we're not to that point in the Upstate, but if we're not thoughtful as we move forward, we could one day. So we need to be thinking about that. And these maps that Clemson did show what the hot button areas are as we're growing. And then we look at the vision. And we look specifically from a land use standpoint. When we had the survey and the engagement of people, 10,000 people in our process, the overwhelming majority said, we want to make sure we reduce our land use by 40%. This map shows what that can look like compared to the trend. It is just a guide. It is not going to look exactly like this in 30 years, but we hope it looks somewhat like this instead of sprawling. And we have to be thoughtful in how we work towards that. And we're moving forward, and there are a lot of things that can be done across the board by all of us to work towards that. And some of that's in the action document I'll talk about in a minute. Then the Vision and Values Committee, Dr. Stockwell mentioned them, and they have done a tremendous job, and I thank all of them for their involvement. Then we have the vision statement, which you saw. It looks great up there. And then the 5 key drivers. And in each driver, there are 3 principles. And when we had the summit that many of you were at last September, we had these in a pretty good form at that time. And I'm very proud that in going out and engaging a couple thousand more people since then, we didn't have to make a lot of tweaks. We went to every county and we asked people, do these make sense? Are we in the right direction? And overwhelmingly, people said yes. They feel like we're going in the right direction. And what we did in the last number of months, using the input that we've gotten from folks, is we added to that some strategies. And these are, again, umbrellas, general things that now, from that, we can build initiatives. We can build actions from these overall strategies. And then we've got, because many of you are probably like me, you want to have examples. Well, how has someone else done it? So we have local examples of things related to each of the vision statements or vision drivers, and then national example of what has been done in other places. And we have all 5 of these. And then let's turn to the back page, page 30. Now we talk about next steps. And these are strategically regional, but they also are personal and they're local. The first one, working together. We got to continue what we're already starting, not just us, but others. It was mentioned earlier, the Upstate Alliance, they have done a great job of engaging our economic development folks and our communities in recognizing that we need to market ourselves. We need to continue doing that. What Upstate Forever, others have been doing. And along with Upstate Alliance, Upstate Forever, the 3 councils of government, and the Upstate Chamber Coalition, we all started a year ago bringing together our elected officials for an elected officials meeting. First time that's ever happened here in the Upstate. We've had 2 of them, and we've had more than 100 people at both.